G'day guys, hope you're doing really well. I'm just going to take a bit of a break from my reviews with this video. This is a response video or a tag video started by MG Villain MP478. I've seen a couple other responses. Darth Phoenix 619 responded, and a couple other people have as well. Basically, the question was what figures would you have liked to have seen in the vintage line, like on these style card backs? Now this line came out in 2010. We've seen a few iterations of the vintage line over the years. It's just that whole harken back to the 70s and 80s figures. It's like this reproduction here. This was the 2010. It was a mail away. And it's got the vintage style Fett. And just a couple of other figures that I've kept. There's a bit of dust on him there. He's been hanging up on the wall for a while. Darth Malgus, still got him carded, and Darth Sidious there on the right. So just having a think through most of my figures and seeing what characters I'd want on the card backs with, like, and you know, just the nice display image. It looks great. Like you've got the figure and then you've got a really nice image of the character right next to it. I think that's really good. Hopefully we get to see that line come back in the next couple of years. It'd be great to see it again. But yeah, there were some characters that I would have loved to have seen in that line. I've tried to pick out some that were different to the other guys that have done this video as a response. I think I've got one that's the same, and I've got another one that is the same, which I'm going to use as just like, I'm going to cheat and go for 6 instead of doing 5. But this is sort of a what do you call it? One that didn't quite make the list, but I would love to see it anyway. And this is only because Manny mentioned it, MG Villain himself. He mentioned this figure, and I would have loved to have seen not necessarily this figure, this character, Plo Koon. He is my favourite Jedi. I'm just going to move these out of the way so you can see a bit better with the light. So this is from the Legacy Collection. This is the one with the removable face plate thing, face mask. I would love to see it updated Plo Koon, like super articulated, super awesome head sculpt. I did like this head sculpt, but it wasn't as great as... I didn't like the removable mask aspect much. It was cool, but yeah, I think they could do a little better than that. I'd like to see a new Plo Koon, being my favourite Jedi, so... Is my honourable mention is the term I was looking for earlier, and it's just come to me right now. So that is my honourable mention figure. So I've decided to leave that there. Character-wise, I'd love to see Plo Koon on a vintage card. Now for my number 5, this one goes out to my girlfriend. Actually, this is her favourite character, and I think it'd be really cool on a vintage card. It is Sy Snootles. I think she'd look really, really cool on a vintage card. An updated figure would be great with some articulation in the elbows. The legs, probably not so bad. Maybe in the knees, the feet, the ankles probably don't need too much articulation. Just a little bit of added posability would be fantastic with this one. Maybe some ball joints in the hips there just so she can, you know... I'm just going to say it. Spread her legs a little bit more just so she can, just for posability purposes. But... And maybe a microphone would be good because this one didn't come with the microphone. Whereas the vintage one did. She did change her appearance in between the originals and the special edition. So, but Sy Snootles on a vintage card, I would pay money for that. That would be so cool. She's a pretty funky looking alien, really cool looking character. I think she'd just pop off those shelves and pop off that card. I think it would just look really good. Seeing a nice colourful image of Sy Snootles on the vintage card, I think that'd be great. So that's my number 5. My number 4 is one that I've seen a couple of times. I think it's long overdue. Count Dooku. Now, on this figure's pretty solid. This one came out of the Target 2-pack, the Geonosis Arena Showdowns packs that were out sort of around 09, 2000, late 2010, early 2010, sorry. I think they come out around 09, around the end of the sort of Legacy line. This is a solid figure. An update would be great. The head sculpt works well. There's a few Count Dooku's that come out around that time that were equally as good. For me, this is probably one of the best iterations. A heavier cape would be great. Even a solid plastic one, which would be that would be fine. But a Count Dooku, even more so now that with the passing of Sir Christopher Lee, I think he just, as a character, he deserves a bit more love than he gets. I know the prequels are constantly getting bashed, still, unfortunately, and sort of Count Dooku falls into the prequels, so he's sort of, I don't know, he's sort of portrayed over the years as not being as important as he should have been. I feel like he should have been a lot bigger of a character than he potentially was or is. But again, another great character that would look fantastic on a vintage card. You could have your Darth Maul, you could have your Count Dooku, you could have your Darth Vader, you could have your Sith Lords lined up on that card backs, hanging on the wall. It would look fantastic. And a nice new Count Dooku figure would be great too. So I'd be happy to see one in the 6-inch line as well. I reckon that'd be fantastic. So that's my number 4, Count Dooku. Number 3. Now this figure's recently just come out in the Black Series, and I dare say it was probably slated for the Vintage Collection at some stage, but it didn't quite cut the list. This is a really good figure. This is one of the best figures that has come out of the Black Series 3 3/4 inch line. It is Anakin Skywalker from Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. Now I've given him the lights. He's just holding the green lightsaber because I've got him in the Geonosis. I've got him set up with all the Jedi in the Geonosis arena. So it's only fitting that I gave him the green lightsaber that he gets given when he gets given a lightsaber. But this is an absolutely fantastic figure. The sculpt, the articulation, all the details on it, the accessories are good. It comes with the changeable arm, so you can have the metal arm. It comes with the lightsaber hilt. It comes with the lit lightsaber. The articulation is just all round fantastic. We got the Episode 2 Obi-Wan on a vintage card. We got Jango Fett. This one would have been fantastic. I know a lot of people don't like Anakin. They don't like Hayden Christensen, but you know what? I don't care. I think they would have look really good on a vintage card. This is the quality action figure. This is one of the finest to come out of the Black Series line, in my opinion. It just looks really, really good. It is a good, solid Anakin Skywalker action figure. And yeah, there's some good shots of him they could have stuck on a vintage card, and I dare say he was slated before the whole schmozzle of moving to the Build-A-Droid and then eventually the Black Series. I'd say this guy was destined to come out on vintage when the rest of the prequels were meant to come out in 3D before the announcement of 7, 8, and 9. So I think he would have gotten his due eventually, and he probably will at some stage when they bring back the vintage line. But I'd like to see that. So that is my number 3. My number 2 is Snaggletooth. Now this guy is technically part of the vintage collection that came out around 09. I'm just going to take the blue tack off. This one, 2012. I thought it was a bit earlier than that. I guess that's 3 years ago, isn't it? That's scary. This guy came out in a special action figure set, which was like the 3 packs that they had in the 70s and 80s. So this guy fit into a pack there. And I would have liked to have seen this guy on a separate individual vintage card. He looks really good. This is a really good figure. One of my favourite Cantina figures. Just the weathering, the detail, the sculpt on this guy's fantastic. I know we had a good Snaggletooth. I tried to go for characters that hadn't been put on vintage cards before. And obviously there was a Snaggletooth. The first 21? I can't remember. Back in 78, 79, whatever it was. But this guy is a good figure, a really good figure. It would have been cool to see him on the Snaggletooth card, maybe with an updated image, I don't know. But he's cool. So my number 1, we're going Expanded Universe. We're going Grand Admiral Thrawn. This figure is fantastic. This one is part of a comic pack that came with Talon Card. It was part of the whole Heir to the Empire Zahn trilogy. But this guy, he just cut such an imposing figure. Just this guy on a vintage card with this figure standing in there like this in the packet next to it. That'd be so good. Like, this is a great figure. Oh, I paid $5 for this. I was stoked. I was so happy to get this guy, finally. I had Talon Card for ages, and I got this guy, this was like well over a year ago, I reckon. Maybe 2 years ago. I finally got this guy. I reckon it was only a year, but... Still, Grand Admiral Thrawn on a vintage card, even though it's not canon, and they're not going to do it. Because it's no longer canon, that would still look fantastic, and if anyone knows anyone that would make a custom card, that would be fantastic, that I could pop this figure into a bubble and display it. That looks so good. But anyway, guys, that's 11 minutes. So I'm going to stop taking up so much of your time. Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't done this video and you want to, go ahead and do it. Go back and check the others that have done it. You can probably just search for the video and it will probably come up. But yeah, I think that's a great idea for a video. So if you're definitely interested, got a few thoughts on your mind, definitely chuck a video up, and yeah, I'll try and check it out as soon as I can. Time has been pretty poor lately. Work's just been busy and stuff, so there we go. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Until then, may the Force be with you.